a final roll. Listen to that two-game whistle blowing, blowing like she never blew before. Little blue light blinking, red light glowing, blowing like she's at my chicken door. You smiling through the fence at me, oh yeah, just like you always smile before. Oh, listen to that two-K whistle blowing, blowing like she ain't gonna blow no more. Woo! Hey! Hey! Oh, can't you hear that two-K whistle blowing? Blow like the sky's gonna blow. Hey, you're the only thing alive that keeps me going. You're like the time bomb in my heart. And I feel that sweet note steadily calling. Must be the mother of our Lord. Blowing like my woman's heart.
We cannot wait to welcome you back to the North Country. We reopen tonight on Broadway. We'll see you soon, everybody. Great, guys. That was amazing.
It was, for lack of a better word, it was magical. It was so much fun. We were all very taken with the show, and I think once people started coming and they were being affected by it the way we have been affected by it, we felt really grateful. We were on such a high, we just had so much fun. And we were innocent too. Like, before that moment, you couldn't have told us anything. We were like, oh, this is just the best thing ever, and everyone's gonna see how amazing it is, and it's gonna be the time of our lives. We were so innocent, I think. I think our story starts before the pandemic, actually, because after we did the run at the public, we were solidified for theater, and we basically got beat out of that theater, lost it, and we had to wait a year and a half to get another theater. So we were like, okay, great, we're back in, we're doing it.
Rehearsals were exciting, new people, tech was fun. It's rare you get to sort of retech a show with more or less the same people, and especially people that you like. So went pretty quickly. We had a great time, and previews were exciting, and we started doing all those fun press things that new musicals do in the lead up to the Tonys. And yeah, we opened on Thursday, March 5th. And then Thursday, we were in for understudy rehearsal, and we were in the middle of the first scene. We were about to go over when Elizabeth stabs Nick with a knife. And Barbara, our associate director, came up to me, and I could feel her hovering. And I was like, is everything okay? And she's like, did you see this on your phone? And I was like, no, what? And that was the announcement. It was pretty devastating.
It felt very much like the bottom had just fallen out, and now what? And Jeff said to me, this announcement has just been made, and we are not going to be having rehearsal. And in fact, everybody's going home.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Broadway. We're back in the theatre. My name is Mr. Baker. I'm a producer of Girl from the North Country, and I'm just so absolutely amazed to be standing back here with you guys. Thank you all so much. 579 days ago, we closed after being open for 1 week only. So we have a lot of work to do and a lot of time to be with you guys. And you are our first audience back on Broadway. So welcome back.
Our producers were so honest with us, and they said they always had intentions of us coming back. So I think we were all pretty lucky that we sort of felt like we had something to come back to and something to look forward to, especially something that we had waited for so long to come to in the first place.
I think the most challenging thing was dealing with the unknown, not knowing how individual company members may respond to being back in the work, given their, like the multiplicity of their experiences during the pandemic. Wanting to hold space for everybody and lovingly restore Connor's masterpiece to what it was, but also acknowledging that so much had changed. And that's when Colin Bates joined us, who had been in the London production.
You know, it felt a little daunting at first, and it was my first time on Broadway, so I was a little, but I mean, they welcomed me in the boarding house, as we all like to say. It was a really welcoming family event, and they welcomed me so gracefully, and, you know, it felt like I'd always been there. About a few days after the first rehearsal, it was like I was in the fam.
So we were also working with Colin, working him into a new company, working with new understudies and swings at this incredible moment in our industry where everything was being interrogated and a lot of demands were being made on producers to investigate what it is to come back to working on Broadway amid the chaos.
The relationships you build with people are exciting. It's exciting as a stage manager to learn the intricacies of a show in a way, you know, you don't normally get to when you're in rehearsal. When you watch something 8 times a week, you know, you really start to know, like, exactly when that salt shaker's put down.
Girl from the North Country is set in a family-run boarding house in Duluth, Minnesota in the 1930s at the time of the Great Depression. And it looks at, the family and the characters who pass through this boarding house and what they are experiencing, dealing with in terms of surviving this particularly difficult moment in history. And the music, Bob Dylan's music, runs through the show, not in a way where it is necessary continuing the story through that particular song or those particular lyrics, but as a way of seeing the kind of interior world of some of the characters and of taking us on a journey that is non-literal and that allows us a kind of reflective space, but that somehow also feels quite sacred.
I think because we were allowed to just use whatever music we wanted, there was no constraints, so we just whatever songs kind of felt right, we were able to use, and you knew pretty quickly when they didn't.
Yeah.
I think any ones that we didn't like, we probably only did twice or 3 times. They were gone pretty fast. And then sometimes if we felt like doing another song, we didn't have to make space for it, because what we would just do is, if we were already doing a song, we just stop that song and start the other one in
Well,
the
that happened a few times in rehearsals. You know, you walk in morning sound, be listening to this song, and you know, something that we didn't even know perhaps, and just kind of. I remember you holding your phone up with a microphone to it and playing it through, and all the cast would be listening, and we'd just start playing around and say, let's try that here. What about putting that there? And it was so experimental, I guess, in lots of ways. But the main bulk of the choice you'd done in advance.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, but it was done pretty much the same way in
Right.
the sense of just liking a song.
Yeah.
Really, there was no super, you know, requirement that the song would have to match the scene.
No.
Particularly, if the more it didn't, sometimes the better it was. The more
And just keeping things moving. That's something you've always talked about, how to just keep the audience
Stay
following
ahead.
this little, staying ahead exactly,
Yeah.
and taking this little journey along.
Connor really loves to have people on stage, and he'll tell you, because he has a sure hand as a director, he'll move your head around almost like the director of a film will move the lens of a camera around. It could be a crowded scene, but I've discovered, like, I have this monologue that starts out, and I'm sort of in the middle of a crowd. Thanksgiving, it's a big Thanksgiving party, and I'm really just kind of rambling. And then as it picks up momentum, I still don't quite understand how he does it, but he moved me around in such a way so that the audience, by the time you need to be listening to the information that I'm spewing out, you just see drunk guy at a party, basically. And then bit by bit, Connor just makes sure that everyone in the theater is looking right at me so that the final bit of information lands. Connor was constantly inviting, whether he was in the room or not, you know, or even if it was just coming over the telephone, inviting you to, explore. I just want the truth.
The way that Connor works, it's incredibly collaborative, and it is very much a process where the actors feel an incredible ownership over what they have created, and Connor gives the actors the space to explore, to come up with what feels like their organic impulse is to that particular thing, and then it's shaped. So what was interesting about coming back is because of that sense of ownership, there are still questions, but most of the company had been through the run at the public with Connor, and know that Connor is not necessarily going to give them, oh, this is exactly what the answer of that question is.
I think my intentions stay the same. My wants and desires with Marianne stay the same, but I'm never precious about anything, to be completely honest. Like, I am always open to changing and adapting because I feel like that's the special thing about live theater, is that it doesn't have to always stay the same. And whatever affects me, however it affects me, I just kind of let it breathe into the space, into the music.
The longer I do the show, the more moved I am personally by just even the lyrics and the music. As Connor would say, it kind of washes over you, especially in the lyrics. I'm hearing more lyrics for the first time that Bob Dylan wrote because of Simon Hale's arrangements. It really brings out the poetry, and I'm just hearing that poetry, and I'll take it with me forever.
You've gone to the funny schools, alright, Miss Lonnie, but you know you only used to get juicy. Nobody has ever taught you how to live out on the street. Now you find you're gonna have to get used to it. You said you wouldn't ask him, do you want to make a deal? Oh, but how does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel? We all know. How does it feel?
I think what's fascinating is that there's a kind of universal sense that Connor talks about in Bob Dylan's music, and that in his decision to set this story in the 1930s at a time of post-Great Upheaval and the Great Depression, uh, there is something incredibly resonant whenever we come back to whatever it is that we're living through. So when when the show first opened on Broadway, we had a different president, and the political message of hope and that we can persevere and we can actually make it through this was incredibly powerful and resonant and strong. And then, of course, when we reopened because of the pandemic, it felt as if the story was, commenting on what we were experiencing going through this really difficult time, and that there is hope and there is resilience and that people survive.
One day we'll all look back and there won't be such a seam. We won't be able to separate these times from the work that we're doing. But right now, it's these times are front and forward. I think it's these times that define us more than our art. And there's really no way to appreciate these times other than thinking, well, one day we'll look back. What we have to do now is sort of get through.
The show is about survival. It's about, it's an American story. It's about family. It's about, trekking through all of the trials and tribulations. And, not everybody could relate to that the first time. And so our piece became such a universal story for the world after the pandemic, because now we all knew what it was like to survive during just a hard time during a pandemic. I was able to put that on stage. And so I wanted to discover who Marianne was to me personally, because now we had a shared experience.
Well, I had to move fast, and I couldn't with you around my neck. You said you sent for him, and you did. What did I expect? My hands are sweating, and we haven't even started yet. I will go along with the charade until I can think my way out. I know it was all a big joke, whatever it was about. Someday maybe I'll remember to forget. I'm gonna get my coat and feel the breath of a storm. There's something I gotta do tonight. You go inside and stay warm. Has anybody seen my heart? Anybody seen my heart? Anybody seen my heart? I know. Anybody seen my heart?
The most normal thing in the world. It was normalizing. It was not it wasn't some shocking return to what it is I do for a living. It wasn't some, surprisingly, because I was ready for anything. I was ready for, I don't remember how to do this, but sort of, it was just like picking up a leather jacket that I hadn't worn for a while and putting back on, and it was such a comfort, a pair of shoes that just fit, that you've forgotten about or something, and, had thought was lost. And it just, in a very, I felt at home. And I also loved the fact that this play, and I knew that it was, because, it just came with some enormous challenges. And for me, I mean, on a personal level, just sort of jumping onto a moving train. I'm not built like, I think some of the most fascinating creatures in the theater world, let alone Earth, are understudies and covers and swings. I don't know how they do it.
We have rehearsals almost every single day, even if it's just for 10 minutes before the show, before fight call. The whole cast is called together. We block out the show with whoever new is on stage that night, and the understudies are doing crazy things. They're playing right now. They're actually playing 2 or 3 parts, and the stage managers are doing parts on stage and making silhouettes on stage because there's no bodies, and they're moving furniture, and so yeah, we still to this day almost every single day it's a new show where somebody's out or something, so we're rehearsing. I think as performers we're gonna be so ready for anything in the future as we go forward, because there's so much change going on in our world. So we just oh, okay, I guess I'm doing the play with, oh, I've never ran the lines with that person. Well, it's gonna be fun. I love that person, let's go. And then we do it.
I think I've always known it, but I think what this show has clarified for me is that the people make the experience, you know? I mean, if you're lucky enough to work on an amazing show like this one, I mean, that's great. But like, theater is such an interactive medium. Being in a theater with the audience is what makes theater theater, but also working with those people in person, you know? That to me is, I think, the most exciting and important and special part of about being a theater practitioner, I'd say.
We must bring this beautiful transcendent piece to more audiences. And I'll just, if I may, this is slightly indulgent, but I hope you'll allow me. Bob Dylan has a third verse in the prayer song that is Forever Young. We don't sing it, but if I may, I would love to sing it to all of these people, to all those people, to our entire beloved company, as I hope we can take these feelings with us with unity and with strength as we take this very brief break in our togetherness. And it goes, may your hands always be busy, may your feet always be swift, may you have a strong foundation when the winds of changes shift. May your hearts always be joyful, may your songs always be sung, and may you stay forever young.
It's a beautiful, I don't want to believe that it's ending. So I know everybody's talking about the end of it for this iteration, but it feels like beautifully well earned and deserved, and something to celebrate.
We made it. We're back on stage. We're back together. And that's amazing, because, you know, for a while, I didn't see that light at the end of the tunnel, you know. For us as an ensemble, we get to finish what we started. We get to, you know, celebrate. For a lot of us, we'll be making our Tony debut. And I know I dreamed about being on the Tonys as a little girl. So I think for us, it'll just be our victory lap. We did it. We came through.